Let's start. Unit 17. Number 1. It was 2 hours before the paper submission. 2. With the deadline close at hand, Claire was still struggling with her writing. Claire. Pressed for time and stuck in a deadlock, she had no idea how to finish the paper. She wasn't even sure whether she could submit it on time. What she found in her paper was scribbled words, half-sentences, and a pile of seemingly strange and disjointed ideas. Nothing makes sense, she said to herself. She looked at her writing and began reading it over and over. All of a sudden and unexpectedly, something was found in that pile of thoughts, the flow and connection of ideas she had not considered while she was writing. From this moment, the ticking of the clock sounded encouraging to her. Yes, I can do it, Claire said as she grabbed her pencil again. Claire. Unit 17. Number 2. Norm and his friend Jason went on a winter camping trip. Norm Jason. In the middle of the night, Norm suddenly woke up sensing something was terribly wrong. Norm. To his surprise, the stove was glowing red. Norm shook Jason awake and told him to look at the stove. Norm Jason. Jason said he had filled it with every piece of wood he could fit into it. Jason. Norm thought the cabin was going to catch fire. Norm. He started swearing at Jason. Jason. He pulled Jason out of his bed, opened the front door and threw him out into the snow. Jason. Norm yelled out in anger, "Don't come back in until I get this stove cooled off." Norm. 7. Unit 17, No. 01. I was in a treehouse in which I holed up in a snowstorm. I thought maybe I'd never get out of the tree. I had been terrified for 2 days ever since the first blizzard hit the Catskill Mountains. Catskill. When I came up to the sunlight, which I did by simply poking my head into the soft snow and standing up, I laughed at my dark fears. Everything was white, clean, shining, and beautiful. The sky was blue, blue, blue. The hemlock grove was laced with snow, the meadow was smooth and white, and the gorge was sparkling with ice. It was so beautiful and peaceful that I laughed out loud. I guess I laughed because my first snowstorm was over and it had not been so terrible after all. Then I shouted, "I did it!" Unit 17, Exercises. Number 02. At dinner I sat between my grandmother and Aunt Gloria. Gloria. My grandmother, a thin, nervous woman who seldom spoke when my grandfather was present, concentrated during the meal on cutting her ham into small perfect triangles before she ate them. Whenever she passed a dish to me, she asked quietly, "Do you like this, David?" And her questions seemed so eager and pathetic that I said yes to everything. David. As a result, my plate was piled high with sweet potatoes and cooked carrots and sliced tomatoes and cottage cheese and kidney beans and comb bread and ham. And I had no appetite. The end. Good job.